Hey everybody, Scroft here. Welcome back for part 2 of the best mods right now for FS25. A reminder, just like yesterday's video, this is a list of PC-only script mods. I will be in the future doing another video on equipment. There will probably be a lot of that on crossplay as well, but this is all PC-only mods. Now, yesterday I did a list of 21. Today we're going to be doing the same. We've got another 21, totaling 42 mods that I think is brilliant for anyone that's moving over from console to PC and wants a good list of mods to be using in your game, but also for for regular PC players that might have missed some mods. So go check out the one from yesterday. That's the first 21, and then yeah, you can carry on with this if you've not seen it before. They're also in no order, so it's not like I'm doing best to worst or anything. They're actually in alphabetical order of the list I've made. And at the end of this video, I've got a bit of a teaser of a mod that's being made by Oz, and it's really cool. So yeah, stay for that at least, because it's well worth it. Right, let's get into it. Yesterday's video was a little bit long. I'm trying to make these as short as possible, but obviously 21 mods, it's going to take a bit of time, and I want to at least showcase and talk about it somewhat so you can see if it's interesting for you and you want to download it. But anyway, the first mod we're going to be looking at is a mod from FS19 days, and maybe even before, but the first time I ever used it was on FS19 days, because that's when I came over to PC. On FS17 I was on console, but we're using Follow Me. So this mod is pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. It allows you to follow the vehicle in front. So you press right control and F, and you can see that I'm now activated onto the Massey. Now say I had two tractors there, it would give me multiple options. So I'll show you that from the one at the rear, that I'm actually just getting all these to follow me. I'm going to be driving the Massey. So this one's already set up. If I actually just cancel this and let's do it again. So right control and F, you can see I've got the Massey and then I've got the Zeta. And you have to pick by just keep pressing the F key whilst holding the right control. So I want to go, this one needs to follow the Zeta, and you can see it counts down. So now that's following the Zeta, and you can see in the left there in the F1 menu we've got a few extra controls. One, we can kind of do the offset, so perfect for like, well, for example, I was using this doing a sugar beet harvest, and I had the guy follow me in the trailer, and he was like on an offset because of the pipe, so it's perfect for that. You can also adjust the distance, so right control W and S. That can also be ahead of you. It doesn't have to be just behind you, can have it ahead of you, which is crazy in itself. But then we've also got an option to pause. Now, I got a few tips from people watching me when I was doing that sugar beet harvest, saying on the turns when it can be a bit awkward, especially if you've got an offset and it can drive into you, if it's on the side that you're kind of trying to turn to, just press Control H and you can see that it's now paused, and then you can continue it. So really useful, really useful. So let's just set that going again, and then we'll jump into the lead one. I want to show you as well here that we've actually got some options. You can see that it's still there, and I can change the offset. Now, if I press right control and H, it won't pause, but if I press right shift control and F, I can select which one I want. So let's go with this one, and then say right control shift and H. He's now paused. So even as the lead driver, you can control them, which I just wanted to point out because it is really cool, this mod is. And if you're trying to play like I do, which is I'm not one for multiplayer, I never have. I like playing single player, but this allows me to kind of have workers following me, especially karting on things where you can't be using auto drive and course play too much because you want to maybe do the harvesting. So yeah, I'll show you. They'll come out. I mean, I could make them all very closer to me, so if we want to do that, we can. If I just go right shift and F and go to this one and then reduce the distance, so let's bring it close to us. Let's go 5. You can now see that's like that. And if we go to this one and go to 5 on that, they now all should stay quite close to me as I'm driving in comparison to what they were before. It's going to be difficult to kind of see where I'm going because I'm obviously driving forward, but you get the gist of it. I'm driving down the road. They are very close to me. Both of them really are right behind me as we're using the Follow Me mod, and it is an incredible mod. It is. It's one of them mods that if you're on PC, you'll definitely download it and find use in it, because you can see we've got two tractors following me back to the yard, for example, just on the mowing or whatever else, and it means you don't have to do 3 trips because you've got the other twos. Yeah, you've got the other 2 following you. Right, so the number 2 in the list is Garage Mod by Oz. An insanely obvious mod that should have never needed to happen, but thankfully for us players, we have a modder called Oz that did this. Now, this was the one thing that I noticed straight away when playing FS25 from 22, that they removed out in the the shop menu the option to see your owned items and leased items. But Oz saved the day. You can see that he added this mod in, which is brilliant because it means now we've got this garage menu in the shop, so we can see our drivable, all our equipment. But if we press switch mode, we can now see our leased equipment, and if we switch again, we can actually see any used equipment searches. And that's the other mod that I showed off in part 1, which was to do with like searching for secondhand market for certain equipment. And I had a look for this 7.2 variant. We've got 12 days left, and hopefully we should get a second-hand version. That's been added into the garage menu by Oz. So yeah, it's one of the mods you really do need to have. And thankfully I've not got used to the way that it is in FS25. For me, the garage menu, we should have a menu inside the shop showing us our own equipment. So the next one is again by Oz, and it's called Hire Purchase. And if you've been following my channel and my series, you'll know that I use this a lot. It's a cracking mod, and pretty proud that I had some involvement with this mod. When it was in its work in progress stage, Oz was chatting to me, and I was gathering some information from some of the farmers that I know and how they've kind of gone about getting their tractors and equipment and what the deals usually are like. And from that information, Oz put it into the game and give us an option to get an actual realistic hire purchase in. Now, it works best with tractors, I'd say, because that's where a lot of farmers will go and do it. But I'm going to show you with a cultivator. So say I want to buy this cultivator, but I want to get it on finance, basically, like you would, a car, maybe a purchase agreement at the end or a hire purchase agreement, hence the name hire purchasing. We click this option here and we can pay a deposit. So let's say I want to pay 50% up front to this cultivator. I want to pay it off in 1 year. That's the year length. Then we get 4 options. And what changes between these options is technically the final fee, which means after 1 year of paying each month the monthly cost, we'd have to pay this much to buy it outright, and that fee is going to come out no matter what, even if it leaves you minus. Yeah, the interest rate pretty much kind of sits there fixed. But what will happen for the interest rate if you want to change it is by changing the deposit. So say you only pay a 5% deposit, you can see that we've now got a higher interest rate. So if you want to lower the interest rate, pay the maximum, which is 50% of the deposit. Then this basically is important because it tells you how much you're going to pay back overall. Because if you go 5 years on this, your interest amount's going to be, even if it's 2.5%, it's still going to be a lot more overall. And you can't pay money to it. You can settle it early. Don't get me wrong, you can settle it early, but you can't do I just want to pay 20 grand off it and then, leave me with so much left. You either clear it completely or, pay the monthly fees. But let's just say we've done 50%. We want to do 1 year, and then at the end, we don't want to pay any fee. We just want it to be option, completely paid up and everything. So we're going to pay £2,132 every month for 12 months, and then we'll own this cultivator. We want to choose option 1, press that, press purchase. That will then come into the world as our item, which is obviously spot on. And then in the menu, we've now got an option down here for hire purchasing, and you can see that this is where we can keep tabs of all the equipment we've got on hire purchase agreements, basically. And you can see the total monthly cost, also the total remaining cost, and that kind of adds up as well. So if you've got something, it will stack as well, the total section will. Now, if you want to settle it early, you can go in here, settle it early, press the £25,000. The fee to settle it early will be a little bit different because obviously you're not paying as much interest anymore. And then if you do that, you own it outright. So the next one is called Indoor Camera Position by Viper GTS 96. Now this mod is awesome. It really is awesome, and it allows me to adjust the camera in cab on the fly. And I've used this loads, absolutely loads. Now I'm going to show you how to do it, basically talk you through it. So if I use the mouse wheel, roll it up, you can see that I'm going higher or lower down. So if you want to go lower down, you feel like you would be naturally about here, depending on what feels right for you. If you then hold the left shift key and roll the mouse, you can go forward as well. So say you want to sit about there. But then if you hold the left control key and go left and right with the mouse wheel, or up and down based on the mouse wheel, but you can control the left and right. And that's how you do it. So then, Well, let's say that's how I like it. This is my now new set. You can basically jump out the tractor, jump back in again, and you've got that as your indoor camera view. Now, say you want to reset it to how it was. What you do is you hold the left, you'll click the mouse button, and it will reset the up and down. If you hold the shift key and press the mouse button, it'll reset the kind of forward and backwards. And if you hold the left control key and press the middle mouse button, it will basically will do the left and right. So let's say I want to reset the left and right, it's that. So it's really useful to have. Some tractors I found are like not set up right for the camera to what suits me, so I like to be able to adjust it. So this one's a really cool one, indoor camera position on Mod Hub. Moving on to the next one, we're now at interactive control. This pretty much is straightforward. A lot of people will know this, but it is a script, so it's PC only. And if we press the backspace key on the keyboard, we can start seeing anything that's interactive in cab. So now all I need to do is hover over it, press your input button for that. Usually it's the left mouse key. I've changed mine just because I found it can conflict basically with other mods, but it allows me to kind of mess about with this kind of stuff, so I can shut and open the door. I don't know if there's anything else in the T7. No, there is. There's this, so we can open the back window and stuff like that. Some tractors have a load of interactive control in. Let's see what this case has. We've got the door as well. Probably got the back window. It looks like we've got the exact same stuff going on in this one. There might be another tractor somewhere. Let's have a look at the fence. Back door. Oh, we got this one up here, so you can see that the sunroof's opening. But we've got this one again, back window, door. So yeah, some have, like, if you find some modded tractors, will have a load of stuff. There's nothing in this one. Might be an update coming for that, because obviously it is a DLC pack. Yeah, I mean, mainly they are like just the doors and stuff, but you got some that'll have such a lot of interactive controls, even like the steering wheel and stuff, and you can have like indicators and everything else, and even some of the touch screens on the monitors and things like that. There is a lot going on with things like, there's a lot going on, but it's well worth downloading if you want to be a bit more interactive. It's a pretty cool mod. So another one now, we are on to a mod called Longer Lasting Mud by Rich Opic. And it's on Mod Hub. Now what this basically does is just pretty much straightforward to what the name says. It makes mud last longer on the tyres, and we can customize it. So if we go to the general settings here, you can see there's an option here where it says longer lasting mud settings, which is the mud length multiplier. So it's 0.5 currently. Now, if you go to 1, you know that 1 is the default in the game. So yeah, it's up to you what you want to do there, and you can adjust it and everything like that. But it sets the multiplier for how long mud should remain on the wheels after driving off a field. Large numbers make the mud last longer. So really, I've actually got it shorter there. And I don't know if I've changed that or that's the default. But let's say you want it to last double the amount of time, because it does come off quite quick, doesn't it? So I would probably set that for probably up to 10, because mud sticks onto tyres and stuff. And yes, it will drop off a little bit after time, but I'm sure you've noticed driving around tractors with mud on the tyres that the tyres flick it off quite quick. So at least now, because I've got this on, which I'm actually only properly using because it was set up wrong. The tyres, it's coming off, but a lot slower. So some's come off, hasn't it, there, but not much at all. So I like it for that reason. So go check out Longer Lasting Mud on Mod Hub. Right, so I'm now in the T7, and we're looking at the next one, which is called Manual Tipping. Now, I have amazing hopes for this, and a hopeful plan that in the future I can try out using actual spools on a setup with a steering wheel. But basically what this does is, like now we can see the input on my controller to say tip into a trail, tip into a silo, or a tip trigger basically, and we have to press 2 buttons, and it will automatically just go to the point on its own. As you can see now, it just lifts up, hit the tip. The trailer goes to the maximum point that it goes to, and imagine if you're doing this in a shed, you've already hit the roof there, and you're pretty much just kind of like doing this all the time. I'll show you. Yeah, you're doing this all the time. You're like doing that so you don't hit the top, and it can be really irritating. So let's fill it back up with wheat, and you can see that I'm still over the trigger. But what I'm going to do, because we got manual tipping, I can change if I want it to tip or like raise the trailer or lower the trailer like you would in a real life tractor. And I'll give you an idea where that is. These hydraulic kind of buttons here in another tractor like levers, but you can see where they got blue, yellow, green, orange, red on the back of the tractor. Oh, no, let's go back to it. In the back of the tractor, can you see the colours on the hydraulic spools? So you've got orange, green, yellow, it looks like, and so on. Well, basically, at the top there, it kind of gives you on that information. Wait, if I could actually stay there. There you go. Like where the colour spools and what they do. Now, in cab, the buttons there would interact with them. So that controls it. So it's a bit like having them, which is why I said if you could get this set up on a proper lever spool and everything for a tractor, that'd be super cool for tractors, and even for like using your hydraulics, even if that's like unfolding a tedder, for example. It's perfect, isn't it? So yeah, that's basically what it's trying to do. So I've got it currently set to lower. So if I press O, it won't do anything. But if I press Alt, it's now on raised trailer. And if I press O, you can see that I'm manually doing this. And until I get to a point where it starts tipping, like now, into the silo, now it just stays where I've left it because it's where I've set it to be. It will automatically go back down again, but I can automatically as well lift it up. And if I want to, I can make it stay as high as it goes. Let's just do that. And I'm just holding on to the O key on my keyboard. And it's now at maximum height. And I could, drive around and be a bit dodgy if I wanted to. But that's basically what it does. And I love the fact that it is simulating these spools and you can manually control them like you would do in a tractor. So, yeah, I think the next step for this would be, let's get a setup, a proper farm setup that maybe a company can make that comes with like levers and stuff, and we can control the spools and hydraulics manually, because I would absolutely love to do that. In fact, I'm tempted to learn how to make one. So the next one is called Nimble Jumping. And yes, I am acting like a bit of a fool right now, jumping about the place, but there's a good reason for it. Another thing that I noticed when I booted up FS25 for the first time was the jumping felt really strange. It was almost like laggy and not responsive to what I was doing. And the reason for that is there is actually a cooldown. Like there's a period of time, I think it's like 2 seconds, where if you jump, you have to wait another 2 seconds before you can jump again. So this mod called Nimble Jumping on Mod Hub basically gets rid of that cooldown and the slowdown after jumping. So, you can kind of go back to what it was in FS22, where you jump, you can just keep jumping. As soon as you hit the ground again, you can just keep jumping. I know it sounds ridiculous, but if you're used to FS22 and you preferred it that way, then this is the mod for you. And I much prefer it the way it was. I want it to be more responsive. It's a game. I don't want it to kind of lag behind what I want to do on the inputs. So it's an important mod for me. So check out Nimble Jumping. Moving swiftly on to the next one. This one's called Part Vehicle. And again, this has been in previous versions of the game. For the farmhand, this mod is really useful for me because it means I don't have to keep tabbing through every vehicle to get to like ones that I'm using currently, like maybe in that episode. But what it does, if you press left control and T together, we've now got a symbol right at the bottom. I'll zoom into it so you can see, and I'll unselect it so you can see it coming on and off. Currently, that means that if I tab to this vehicle, it will skip it, basically. It skips it in the order. So if I go to the Zeta now and back, it jumps to the New Holland harvester I've got out in the cornfield from the last episode, from the last video. But if I go to the Zeta again and do it on this one and go to the John Deere, now when I go backwards, I'll go straight to the New Holland. And again, if I tab this one, Control T, so now all these three have been activated as part vehicle. It means that I don't want to tab to them. You can see that I completely miss it. And the only way to get back to it would be to find the tractor down here on the map and enter the vehicle and then unselect the the part vehicle, activating that and deactivate part vehicle on this one. That would be the way to do it. It's also really useful to say you want to make the shop look like the dealership, look more realistic by putting a load of tractors out there that are branded to the dealership. Say it's a Massey dealership, you can put a load of Masseys on there, and just so you don't have to keep tabbing through them, you can part the vehicles. So yeah, they are basically just there for show, and you don't have to kind of worry about them interfering with you tabbing through the stuff you actually want to use and own. So it's really useful for that reason. And yeah, part vehicle. Moving on to the next one now. We are at Real GPS Mod. I actually think this is number 31 out of the 42 mods. So we're getting there. We're getting through them. This one, yeah, Real GPS Mod by Buying Gaming, LSFM, and Reppy Gaming. Now, Buying Gaming is insanely talented. Worked mainly for 22 on LSFM's kind of website. Got his own website now, and I know he's working on, this is kind of like a bit of news out there, that he's working on the manual attachment mod that's actually realistic, as in you can reverse up to a trailer, hitch to it, but then you have to get out to put the hoses in. So you can still hitch realistically, like say you got a telescopic hitch on the back of the tractor, you can back up to it, hitch to your trailer, but then you put the hose in. So keep an eye out on that. It might be coming to mod, but I don't know. I just know I've seen someone testing it out and it works exactly the way I've just said. So keep an eye out on that and Buying Gaming for the manual attachment mod. That's going to be really cool. But moving to Real GPS Mod, it basically does this. We've now got Real GPS. And if I just zoom in, you can see that this is the map PDA for Saxonham. And it's now on screen. Now it comes with pretty much most of the kind of base game tractors that have got a screen in and stuff like that, and it just allows you to have it. Now you can change certain things, you can enable and disable it in the settings. So if I go right shift and L, it disables, I think it's right shift and right shift key plus L enables and disables setting mode. So if I just keep it on that, I don't know if I've changed that, I can't see any interaction. Toggle rotation mode is the Y key. I'm not seeing anything going on here, am I? So something's definitely going on. Anyway, let's try to zoom in on the screen over here. Let's see it zoom in. So that's right control page up, but that's still not working. So it looks like I've either got a confliction, something conflicting with it. But let's try it on this one here. Right shift, right control page up, page down. So yeah, I've got something's conflicting with these Real GPS screens for me. But basically, we can zoom in and out. We can change the page over and stuff like that. You can change the orientation. I have used it before on my Saxonham series, so I know it does work. But it is nice to just see it because it's interactive as well. So if I start moving, you'll see that the tractor on the map there, the little mini dot that's in green, will start moving as well. If I go into the field and change direction, you can see that it's also moving over there. So it's just nice to have that interactive map going on as you're playing. And for maps that have got realistic PDAs like this one, Saxonham, Whitcomb will as well. Whitcomb's going to have the same. It's well worth downloading. So check out Real GPS Mod. Next one is called Repair and Paint Settings. I've shown this off before in FS22. I still use it in FS25 because I find that the paint cost is a bit unrealistic, a bit extreme as well, even if it did cost that much. And I think the paint wears too quick, mainly for me. So even if the paint cost is a little bit too high, I'd probably put that down to 75. But the interval's what I'd change. I'd put that down to 25% because I think that paint's wearing way too quick to what it would do in real life. Maintenance cost, that's up to you. I'd probably put it down to around about 50%, 75%, and the maintenance interval, I'll keep it 100 because I actually think it's probably about right. But it just gives you a bit more flexibility and can customize how often and the price as well regarding maintenance and the wear of the vehicle, so the paint. So this one's called Round Baler Extension. And I've used this in 22, but also 25, and it is a must-have mod, trust me on that. What it does is automatically stop. Now, I've got cruise control on right now, and as you can see, the tractor stopped as soon as the baler's got full. Now, you can obviously set it to do automatic unload anyway, but as soon as the bale's out, it will automatically go again, and then when it gets to that kind of 5,000 mark on the bale, it will stop for me. It also slows down as well. So as soon as you get to like 80%, you'll start seeing the tractor slow down, and I will stop it. So like now, for example, when it starts beeping at you, you can see my tractor's not going too fast if I drop it down. We've got 10 miles an hour. Let me just see if I think it's over 90 actually. Just trying to think when it does slow down. It definitely slows down at a point. Because it gets really slow on the turns as well. There you go. So now I'm down to 5 miles an hour on cruise control, at 97%. And it's just to make it, you know, more controlled, and it means that you don't have to keep going over and then reversing, you know, and then you're dropping your bale anyway in the row, and you've got to try to pick it up. It's a bit of a pain, but with this round baler extension, it really just helps you out like that there. I've got it on cruise control, and it's just dropped the bale, and then it'll automatically move on its own again. So it's well worth downloading this mod, round baler extension. So staying with the theme of round bales, the next one's called rounder wrap bales. And again, I just like the look of these. I think they're more realistic looking. They look like, you know, they've got grass in that's kind of been wrapped and compressed in. And you can see it's got that nice round edge in comparison to like this kind of bale, which is obviously just got the net wrapping on, but it's not been wrapped to curve them edges round. Now, if you didn't have the mod, even the wrap bale would look like this. So the comparison is you've got a nice curved edge, and then when you do unwrap it, which I can't because I think it is, yeah, it's fermenting, yeah, you'll get just like the straight edge of a silage bale. So it's well worth it just because it visually looks better in the game, and it's called rounder wrapped round bales. So the next one is called Stop Full Combine. It's actually probably one of the most downloaded mods I've seen in 22, 25, even 19, and it basically just stops the harvester when it's full. So now we're at 98%. I'm going to put it on cruise control, which you can see by at the bottom where it says 24, it's highlighted. And as soon as this gets to 100, it's going to stop. And it means that you don't carry on driving, and if you've got crop destruction on as well, stops you doing crop destruction. So really straightforward, really simple, and it's called Stop Full Combine. Next one is a mod that I will never go without as soon as it's available, and it's called Store Deliveries. This saves your life so much when setting up a save game. And to be honest, it can be used whilst playing through your save game, but you just got to keep in mind that you pay a 2.5% fee on the item when you get it delivered. Now, I'll give you an example. You can see the dealership over there, so I'm going to buy this tractor here. Now, when it spawns, it should just drop over there, as you can see. But let's say I want it here, or let's say this is a farm on the other side of the map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press left Alt, left Shift, and S, and you hear that noise, and you can see the pink bar, this pink box now that's on the floor. I know, the pink colour, bit of a strange choice of colour, but it is what it is. And yeah, that's basically now where the new shop trigger is. So if I go backwards, buy the same tractor, you'll hear that noise, which basically means we've paid a 2.5% fee. You can see it's 1,499 on top, and it's spawned right in that section. If you want to reset it, all you do is press left Alt, left Shift, and X, and now the box has disappeared and it's been reset to the store. So really useful to have. It's a lifesaver when you're setting up, so well worth a download. So the next one is called Store Search, and it's pretty much just that. You can now search in the shop. So say I've got all items here and I search JCB. It will show you in the base game what's on offer. And as we already know, when 25 dropped, we didn't have much options when it came to JCB, but Rossa Mods saved the day. And if I was doing, you know, my best mods equipment video and stuff like that, Rossa Mods would definitely be in there quite a few times. So yeah, just gives you an example of what to search. You can, you know, go back and everything, just like I just press the shop icon again, but it just gives you a way of doing it. Yeah, it's just a useful thing. So if you wanted to put new, let me do that again. So let's say New Holland. Ooh, bloody hell. There we go. And then you can see all the New Holland tools will come in. Now, I know you can go up here and pick the brand, but it's just quicker sometimes to search what you're after. So the next mod is a really useful mod for me, and I'm going to have to put it in, and it's because I get a lot of questions and comments about people saying, where did you get that mod from? What's that called? And this helps sometimes when I'm playing the game. It shows up on the videos the name of the mod and its author sometimes. So you can see here, because I haven't actually got many mods on at the moment, because I'm just using the 42. I've got just pretty much just DLCs, but I'll go to the Straw Harvest Pack, because that's technically a free mod, but it's classed as a DLC. Now, what happens with this mod is it changes that it just says mod. It'll actually say the name of the mod and the author. So if you see something like in a video, for example, from me, you'll be able to tell like what the mod's called and go search it for yourself on Google and then maybe download it without having to, you know, wait for a link or something. So it's really useful for that reason. But if you have got a lot of mods in your save game, it's also really useful because it can help you organize. Say if you want to remove something out or you want to change something, you can go find the mod. Because say you've downloaded, I don't know, 4 different versions of a T6, New Holland T6, and you know one of them's got something not that's working right on it, and you want to remove it out of your mods folder, you can find the name of the author, search the mod, and make sure you pick the right one to take out. So it's really good for organizing mods that way. So yeah, it's called Tidyshop Mod Titles. I mean, we are getting there now. We're on number 39 out of 42, and this one is called Time Saving Stock Check. And I use this in every save game. You've probably seen me in the videos open it up quite a lot, and it will tell me the goods that I actually currently have and the value of them currently, but also the value of them if I sell them at the best time. And you can see here, I've got my commodity, the amount that I've got of my commodity. So let's take wheat, for example. Have a look at this one. That's 40,000. The price currently is 833 per litre, per 1,000 litres, sorry. So that's the value I'd get. If I sold it at the best time, though, I could get this much, and then that would be the potential, and it tells you the month. So you can organise like with what you're selling and stuff, the max value, price, and everything like that. It's really useful to have. You can even hide the items that you can't sell, that maybe you haven't got a sell point on the map that will accept them. So I really like this. I find it really useful, good to organise through your save game of what you're selling and when to sell it. And I think it's one of them mods I just can't go without now. So the next mod is called the Tool Inclination Helper by FarmSim Tim. And it's really useful if you're in cab and using like a front loader or anything like that, wheel loader, anything with an arm where you want to pick something up. Now in the bottom right, I'll zoom in and I'll make it really large so you can see it. The one that says 0.9 currently, that is telling me the height I am from the ground. So if I want to say, like, let's say I want to pick up this IBC here, but only use the in-camera, the in-vehicle camera view. Now I know I need to go down to like maybe 0.1 or yeah, probably about there. Now the 11 is telling me the tip angle. So to level it up, you want it to get to 0. So I now know that at 0.3, which is obviously a bit too high, so let's go down to 0.1 and 0. I should be bang on for this now. And at 0.1, because you do want to be a little bit off the ground. In fact, let's go down a touch. There we go. Try that. Now I should go straight through into the IBC, as you can see, so I don't need to use the outside camera, and I can lift it up. And now, you know, it tells you the angle again, you're obviously off, and the height off the ground. So it's really useful to like pick up stuff and drop stuff off whilst using in-camera view. It's an essential thing for me. So if I say now I want to level it out, drop it down, I know when I hit 0, like now, I can just drive backwards. And say I'm slanted again, let's say like this. Now you can see the angle is like nearly 66 degrees that way. Let's bring it to 0, and I'm not looking at the forks at all here. I'm just looking at the numbers down at the bottom right. Let's go down to 0 there, and let's drive forward again. I'm a little bit minus on this one, it says, but we should still be all right. You can see that it's nicely done that. Lift it back up, and off you go. So it is such a cool mod that helps anyone in cab, and highly recommend it. So go check out Tool Inclination Helper by FarmSim Tim. So another one now by FarmSim Tim. We were doing some baling previously, showing off the round baler extension, but this one's called Unload Bales Early. And it basically just allows you to unload a bale in the chamber when it's like this. I've got 64%. Like, just imagine that was the grass field and I've done all of it and that was the last bit picked up. All I need to do now is press the O key on my keyboard. And there you go. That is the bale unloaded. So it just helps. So it just allows you to actually empty out the baler instead of keeping a certain amount in. And you can see that the volume isn't quite at full, but it still looks like a full bale. It just means that the volume is less of what it would be as a full bale. Up here, I think I've got them coming out at 5,000. So that was 3,200, and yeah, that one's 5,000. So just a good way of kind of finishing off the job properly. And yeah, so especially if you're doing like a contract as well and you need all the amount to come out, because you can actually unload that bale. So this is the last one in the list, and it is called Use Up Your Tyres. And I love this mod. It basically changes the way tyres work in wear. You can actually visualize now that they wear and you have to replace them. So this tyre here, you can see it says 0%. It's like a fresh tyre. So now if we drive around and kind of like do damage on the tyre, you'll notice that it starts kind of like wearing down, and then you can change the speed of it in the game settings. Now, I can't actually do a command, I don't think, in game to show you it fully worn out, but I have got it on the highest setting. I'm just going to quickly just drive around for a bit and see if I can get it to somewhat go down in the percent so you can show you. But basically what you will notice eventually is it go completely bald. Like it's almost like an F1 slicked, an F1 tyre. It's, you know, completely bald and flat, and then you obviously know you need to replace it. And I did notice that whilst that was happening, I was getting a bit, you know, of it wasn't as responsive. It was almost sliding about on the roads and stuff. And in the fields especially, it was like sliding about. Now I don't know if that's linked to this. I'm sure it is, but I've not read anywhere that it is. But yeah, I guess it's just one of them. It could just be a visual thing, but I think it might be physical as well. You'd have to check it out and try it out yourself. But I noticed a difference in the tyres and how they're performing. So we've just done a bit. I've got it on the highest settings. Let's have a quick look. You can see I've got 3% tyre wear. Now, when I get down to 0, that will be completely flat and bold. And, you know, you can try it out for yourself. If you go onto the mod page in the link in the video description, you'll see a picture of it as it's getting more bold as well. But I haven't got the time to drive around that long. I could probably go in the XML, jump out again, come back in and make it bold, but I'll let you guys see that first person when it happens to your tyres. But it's well worth a download. Really, really nice idea. And new to FS25. I've not seen a mod like that before in 22 or before it. So it's nice to see this one. So check out this mod called Use Up Your Tyres. But there we go. That is all the mods that I put in my list. That is 42 mods. And it's crazy that all them 42 mods total around 42 megabytes of data. Hardly anything. And that is the beauty of script mods. They take a long time for the guy who's coding all that stuff together, but they don't take much data. It's just ones and zeros really at the end of the day, isn't it? It's just code on a line. So, but what a difference it makes to the game when you've got this many mods. So 42 brilliant mods there. Hopefully you found something interesting in that list. Remember, the first 21 are in the first video that I did yesterday, part 1. And then in today's video, we've gone from 22 to 42. So the last thing I've got to talk about now is a bit of a teaser. And this is super cool, and I hope everyone's excited for it. So I'm going to show you a few pictures and put them up now as I read out this description that I got from Oz. So this mod is going to be called Red Tape. It brings complexity, realism to the game through 3 systems, which are policies, schemes, and taxes. Policies are requirements that reflect many real-life things farmers need to do, such as not contaminating water sources and taking good care of animals. Compliance with policies is currently measured in a points-based system, but depending on feedback, this may also involve financial benefits and fines. Schemes are somewhat similar to policies, but are entirely optional. An example might be that the government want to promote a specific crop. If you join the scheme, you could be given equipment, such as a harvester and cash bonus for the crops grown. The quality of schemes and rewards is impacted by your policy compliance rating. Tax is tax. He hasn't started this yet, but it's likely to be a simple tax on profits annually, possibly with tax breaks for high policy compliance. I am aiming to get this mod into a small testing group by November and release something by Christmas. So this is going to be on Mod Hub. That's the aim. It's another brilliant mod by Oz. And again, pretty proud to work with him on this in a small way with some ideas, sharing back and forth. I know he's been working on this for some time. To see these pictures now that I'm putting up in game firsthand is really good. It's exciting because I like the idea of having these policies. And you can see from the example there, looking at the actual policies there, you've got animal feed, animal spacing, slurry management, crop rotation, water contamination, restricted slurry application, animal bedding, animal conditions, and manure management. And the one we can actually see there as an example shows like about what would happen. I'm going to let you read through these, pause the video if you need to, use your imagination what the tax and the schemes might be like. I like the idea of tax. I've always thought that'd be something to put into the game. I know not many people have ever said that, but it's true. If you had an income tax, like a self-assessment at the end of the year, you had to pay so much % on your profits. I think that would be something cool to do because it is more realistic, and I wouldn't mind playing like that. But yeah, you've got schemes as well. So the crop promotion scheme there, the one there which says crop promotion, that's obviously to do with going to do potatoes, and you'll get an incentives to do it. And you also get the equipment, and then you've also got one that says avoid mowing during springtime. So you'll get paid to not mow in spring, which might impact on your feed, but it's like the schemes that the government do in the UK for farmers to grow certain types or protect the hedgeland area, things like that. I think this is super cool. So keep an eye out for this mod called Red Tape by Oz. It's in the works. He's working his socks off on it. It should be dropping, hopefully, if everything works out. The plan is for Christmas time. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments section. Show him some support. And if you've enjoyed these last 2 videos, give it a thumbs up for me, because I really do appreciate it. I put a lot of time and effort getting this all together. And yeah, if you found it informative, give it a thumbs up. And if you're also new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator. See you, everybody.